In this video, I will show you how to create a studio to make a final render, so something a little more interesting than what we have. Even if already what we have is good, maybe you would like to have really nice shadows on it, and nice lighting, and to create this yourself, maybe a nice background to put a little compositing after. And for this, I will show you little tricks. So really, you have in Blender you have two render engines that works for really render. Workbench is not really a render engine, it's to recreate what's happened in the 3D view. But here, yeah, for Eevee, it's really for really quick render and estimation on what will going on. So if you want to show to a customer something really quick into the interface directly, yeah, it's very good. Eevee is really good for that. And but it's not that accurate for the shadows, the reflex, than cycles. If you really want to go for realism, go to cycles. It takes a little more time to render, but it will give better results in the end. So we will switch to cycles. I will just go here into my GPU compute. If you have a graphic card, don't hesitate to go into edit mode, into edit preferences, sorry, and go into system, and you will have the possibility to choose what kind of graphic card you will use. Depending on if you use NVIDIA, you will have maybe CUDA or optics, or if you use other graphic cards like AMD, you will have OpenTIA. So choose this into the preferences and then come back there. It will go quicker for your rendering after. Then what we will do, I will just come back into the layout here, the normal layout, and I would like to create a kind of background studio with a camera and with lights that makes everything beautiful. So the first thing I will do, I will just create the objects that will make the studio itself. So first of all, let's create a new collection that we will call studio. Okay, so here I just made a right click, create a new, and select it in blue like this. Only objects that we will add after will be this. Then after, we'll just hide off rifle high poly here, just to focus more on what we have into the 3D view. Okay, and then we will add here, the first thing we will add, it will be a plane. Okay, this plane will go into edit mode and make a S4 to have something a little bigger than what we have now, and we'll come back into object mode with tab. Sorry, we didn't finish. I stay here in edit mode, and then you will just select here the edges with 2 and select this one. Okay, so if you are in front view and turn, it has to be the one that is here into the background, and make and then you will make it easy to have an extrusion into the Z-axis. Okay, then you will reselect here this one, and with Ctrl B you can just create a nice background that will fit perfectly what you want. Okay, so let's say we have enough. Maybe I will just add a few segments more until 16 will be good, just to have really something smooth there. And then you can come back into object mode finally. Here we are in solid view. What we would like to make a flat shading. Now we would like a smooth shading. Okay, so with right click you make a smooth shading and you have your background. Okay, easy this one. So for the next one, we'll make Shift C to put the cursor into the center, and then add with Shift A here another object. This object will be a sun. Okay, it will be the global light of our scene. It's not really the one that we will use. It will not be only this that will light our scene, but this one is really to project shadow, that we have nice shadows into our scene after. So let's do a GZ on that. Let's go on top view to see what we have. We would like to put this sun over there. Actually, the localization of the sun is not really important, because wherever you put, you can put it here or here, it will like the global scene for a sun. But it's just, yeah, to have something more easy to understand. And then after, you choose the right view, something around there, and you make a rotation, and like this the sun will just project the shadow like that into that direction with the rotation we made. Okay, so the first thing, it's this first object, the background, second object, the light, third object, the camera. Shift A again, and we will choose the camera. So the camera by default comes here. What we will do with Alt R, we will just disable any rotation into the camera, make a RX 90 degrees and GY, okay, and a GZ to just put it above over there. And we will see after with the refill, we will maybe manage our camera a little later. But basically how it will work this, and why it's important to place well our objects like that, because after we would like to make a kind of turnaround of our model with a little animation that that after it's easy to produce images or animations for customers if you want to share your work with others. So basically you could think of two ways of doing that. You have the possibility to, if I enable the rifle here, and select everyone over there, and I go into camera view, and just with GZ here and R 90 degrees into the Z-axis and into with minus to make a negative rotation, just like that. You can select the camera now and make here a GY just to manage it a little how you want, maybe. Yeah, let's say just for start and to make you understand, we'll make this. So the first thing we could do is to animate this, this object, okay? And with RZ we could animate that like this to make a nice rotation into the object, and like that you will have a nice turnaround, just like that. But what would be good is to have a studio that we can use for all the objects that we will make after, and we don't have to animate the objects like that each time we go into our studio. What would be good is to have a studio that you can reuse after. And in that case, what will be good is that we will animate the studio itself. So to do that, we will just add into the center an empty, and this empty will be a sphere because it's just easy to select like that. And we will select the three objects of our studio, this one, this one, this one, and this one finally. And with Control P, we will just put set parent to object like that. And then we have the possibility into camera view to make a rotation of our empty, and everyone will follow, okay? It's not the object that is turning, it's the entire studio, okay? So it's an important way of understanding things, because with this system you just have to import a model in the center. You animate nothing, everything is ready because your animation is already there, and your empty, it's already animated. So it's just the empty that we will make RZ on it and animate it. So that's why it's usually the way I try to use when I create a studio like that. So it seems that our empty went into the wrong here, into the wrong collection. So I will just select it and put it into the studio, and like this, everyone will be into the studio like that. Good. So what will be good too? Now we will manage a little more the camera view to have something a little more interesting. Maybe just into the camera view with 0, what we could do just to have a different angle and maybe a better point of view. Me, I like to work with something with less perspective, so I can zoom in a little with the focal length, maybe until 67 or 70, something like that. And then after with GY, I can just go here, and with GZ, I can just come like that, and RX after will give us the right angle. So GZ again, and we have something decent now. Okay, maybe just a little more, like, yeah, something like that. Good, and now we have a nice point of view and a nice framing for our model. The next thing we will do, we will just make the animation for the empty there. So let's say that our animation will start as 0. And it will not end at 2050. It's just a few images that we will turn around like that. We will just produce 12 images. So it will end at 11. It means that if you count 0, 0, 1, until 12, you will have 12 images. Okay, until 11, you will have 12 images. And so let's go into the first frame here. And I would like to animate this into the Z axis, into the rotation, so RZ like that. Okay, so what we will do, we'll just go there, and into the item you have the rotation values there. And what I will do, I will just insert a key with Y, just like that. And when it becomes yellow, it means that you have a key over there. You can see this key here into the animation over here. Okay, so let's zoom in a little to see what's happening. Why this key disappear? Because I did zoom in like that, maybe. Yeah, anyway, to show you that, maybe I will just go into something a little more interesting and select the right object, maybe. Into the dope sheet, it should show us, where is it? Okay, let's come back into the graph editor, maybe will show us this. And after I will put the second key and it will be better. So I will go here into, yeah, the key is there. And I will go here into the end of my animation, because I want something that stops in 12 and has the same rotation here and there. So it will be 360 here into the 12 rotation. And I will just into the 12 frame here, the frame number 12, and I will just make another insertion with Y here. Okay, so what we will do now, we'll have a key here and a key there. If I unzoom a little here and see what we have by select everything, and just with the numpad here, I will have the numpad period, I will have here everything there. This one, I would like it to be totally straight. It represents the animation of my empty there. So if I make the animation and I launch the animation now, you can see that it will turn around just like that. Okay, so good, so far so good. But this one here, we will select everything again, and with the right click we will just go into the interpolation mode and we will select the linear shape like this. It will be a constant acceleration, and we will not have a big acceleration in the beginning, something slow in the beginning, sorry, big in the middle and slow in the end. We will have something just constant. I come back here into the normal view for animation there, the timeline. Okay, and finally it comes back here, and you can see the two keys that we did inserted there. So good. For the animation we are okay, we don't want more. And what it will give us into camera view, if I just switch frame to frame with the arrow, you can see the effect. It's exactly what we want now. Okay, so perfect, we have our studio animated, ready to continue now the rendering process. So talking about rendering, we will go into the light first here and give it a strength at 3, something like that. Okay, and we will start to make real rendering now. So we'll come into camera view and we will go here into rendered here, into the real rendered. So it can take a time until it updates, and you will see here how it will be basically. Here it's okay, it's a little flat, maybe we can do a little better. And to make it a little better, usually the best thing that you can add for your render to have nice reflections, nice lighting, it's HDRI lighting. And to use HDRI lighting, usually I use here an add-on that is Easy HDRI. And Easy HDRI, how it works to import it into Blender. If you don't have it, if you follow my trainings, you already know it, I'm sure, but if you don't know it, let's go there into here, internet. You will have the possibility to go there. If you search Easy HDRI 2.8, you will have Easy HDRI add-on for 2.8 to Google, and just go to this page and you just have to download a .zip here over there, okay? So when you did download this .zip, you just have to go here into Blender, come into Edit Preferences, and into the add-ons, you just go into Install and find where you did put, like for example here, it must be somewhere here. Maybe it's been a long time I didn't download it, so maybe it's not there. But here, when you will find here after your add-on, just select it and install the add-on. When it's done here, you will find HDR and you will find Easy HDRI. Just enable it and something should appear over there, a new tab. And this tab is to create a world system that will give you a nice lighting. What is an HDRI? An HDRI, it's an image that has some here some values that gives really a full lighting and a really realistic lighting. It's mapped 360 degrees, like a little what you can have into Google Street. Okay, so let's go there into the HDRIs, and you can see that you have a lot of textures HDRI that you can download. It's for free, it's CC0. Really, if you want to help that guy that makes HDRI heaven, just have a look, because yeah, it's a real gift that this guy gives us. There is not only this, you can see that there are a lot. If you go to outdoors, for example, or skies here, you have really a lot of possibilities to have different ambience into your scene. So how it works after when you download one, for example, if you go to that one, you can download it in different size. So 1K, it's 1024 pixels wide, and after it increase just like that, just to make quick renderings with already when you have a background that you build yourself. 1K or 2K is far enough to work. Then after, when you want to use the background as a real background for your scene, you can use 8K or 7K, 16K. But as you can see, it's already far more megabyte that you will use after into your RAM. So be careful of that. But yeah, it's a very powerful method because it gives really realistic lighting just in a few clicks. So what I did into the source files here, I did give you, it's not me, it's him, but I did download some already HDRI textures just for you to have a little set to test. But after, if you want to, it's just 1K here, but after, if you want to download your own and make your own, I really recommend you to for you to have a folder with all your HDRI classified by size. Yeah, it's really easy to work with, and to have proper render, use HDRI. So just here, how it works with Blender now. When you want to go to create a lighting, what we will do for the sun, we will put it at 0 like this. We are sure that it will not disturb us. It's only the world that will increase, that will light our scene here. Okay, so I will just create a world node like that. It will be totally pink because Blender tells there is no texture for now. So let's search the textures, And for the textures, you just have to take the folder where your HDRIs are in, okay? And you just accept here. What you can do in case here, you just can disable relative path like this when you open Blender again, it can work better. Okay, and now you have a lighting just like that, okay? And just by changing the images, you will have different kind of lighting with sometimes some shadows, direct sun or not. So yeah, really can help a lot to have a decent lighting into your scene, and I really recommend you to do that. So what we will use, we will just choose that one. After you can play with them for sure, it's here for that. We will have a sky strength near 0.8 I would say, and for the sun let's keep it at 2 for now, just to have a kind of shadow projection under the rifle there. Okay, we are good for this one. Now we would like to manage here our background. For now it's flat, it's not really interesting, and for this we would like to go to shading. We'll go to shading, into the 3D view, we'll go into camera view with 0, and we will go into the render view there. So this background doesn't have any material for now. We'll just create a new one by clicking new and call it background, as it's a background. It's a good idea. And here what we will do, I did give you to, it's not me again, did give, but I did download for you some textures here. You have a concrete, you have a rust that you can use for your project. These textures comes from this website here over there, CC0 textures. It gives some free PBR materials, and yeah, so I just did search for rust maybe. And yeah, I did find, maybe, I think it's that one, maybe, I'm not totally sure, that I did download only the color of it. So you will download not only the color map, but there is some nice normal map, and yeah, a full set like we did create for our wiper. But here we will use this too, so I will just click and drag over here and over there. What I can do with this is that if I just plug in here like that, it will not really give us something interesting because the UV is not fixed here. So let's fix the UV and let's go into UV editing. So I will just select everything here and just make a U and wrap, okay? And it will give you something like that, that will match the scale of the object a little better. So now we can come back into our shading here, and it will give us already something a little more interesting. What we can do to manage this texture a little, I mean really like you want, you can just make a Ctrl-T, and by making Ctrl-T it will add you two nodes, the texture coordinates and the mapping. And the one that is important is the mapping, because you can change, for example, the scale. If you click and drag the all values and put at 5, for example, you will have something with more little details into it, okay? So I would like something non-reflective. I would just remove the specular as much as possible to can see really what's happening into my texture. Let's say for this one, I'm happy with it like that. And let's say I would like something similar for maybe this one, the concrete, okay? No, it's not this one that I want. Sorry. I would like this one, the concrete. Yeah, thank you. Good. This one, the concrete here, and yeah, it's kind of not that bad. Yeah, like that, it's not that bad. Maybe we can manage the mapping a little, so I will make a Shift D and put it over there to have a different mapping. Yeah, it works pretty well too. Both are good. But what I would like is something dark, and a good way to manage it like that, you can just maybe I will put something a little less big here. something near 3 would be better. Yeah, let's keep it like that for now. Yeah, I was saying, when you want to manage here and the texture, and maybe you would like just some dark black and white values for this one. We don't want a brownish texture like this. So just to manage it, you just have to add here a converter color ramp, and just like this you will have already a gradient between black and white like that, so it will be interesting. Maybe that one too, I will put it more or less near 3, gives better result, I think. And what you can do just to see a little more black, you can just click and drag if you need, or just take that one here and remove some light a little, and you will have something with the right color. And now you can see that it will give something a little more interesting into our background like that, and will give a nice texture. Yeah, this one looks not bad. What you can do too, if you want, it's not mandatory, but you can, if you want a little more details, you can just add here a vector. It will be a bump, okay? And this bump, you can just use the black and white values here that goes out from here as a height, and you just plug into the normals after, and it will give on that one, it's not really we cannot see it well, but let's say I will remove this and put it with a darker color and put it with specular. Like this we can see a little more what's happening with the reflects, and remove some roughness as well. You can see that we will have the details on that, that will give us a nice kind of texture into it. So yeah, the strength is maybe a little too strong. 0.1 can be enough on that. I come back to something with low specular, high roughness, and put back my color, and I will have something really interesting over there. Okay, so that's it for the background. If you want to do exactly the same kind of rig for the concrete, you will just duplicate these two here and put the color here and see what you get, what we will have here. Maybe this one deserves a little more dark like this, and maybe this one deserves to be a little darker. Honestly, I prefer this one. It gives a better result, I think, and we will keep it like that for now. Increase a little the roughness to not have too much reflex on that, and that's it. So we have something already interesting on that. In case we want to make a render now and to test our render, we have a few things to do. We can increase the render. For now it's 128 samplings, but if you want, you can increase if you want better quality, or if you see a lot of noise appear into your image, it's important to increase a little that. Depending on what you have for rendering as CPU or GPU, you can just manage this and change and experiment to see what is the faster. For me, I know that 32 is a good value for what I have. Okay, and let's just make F12. And we see that we have crazy objects into the middle. What is that? It's because here we didn't disable some into the rendering. So what we will do, we'll enable here the rendering possibility, and we don't want the low poly to be rendered, we don't want the insert to be rendered, we want only the studio and the refu high poly like that. Okay, so let's make an F12 again. It should be a little better, and we have already a decent image, it seems. Not too much noise. Seems quite good. Maybe I will decrease a little the scale of the grunge behind and make it just a little darker. We will see. Not totally sure on that, but more or less we have something quite good to make a render here. Okay, so here it's the it's the Cycles way on how to make a render. If you want to make a render with Eevee now, it's far quicker, but less accurate, but far quicker. Let's just put, yeah, this maybe I will just put it at 2 to have something just a little bigger over there. And now I can come and jump to Eevee just like that. So you can see that the render is really different. It gives another feeling. I will really remove any specular on this one, just, or maybe just a little, 0.01, maybe something like that. 0.05, too big. 0.02. Okay, yeah, let's keep it like that. And we have to enable a few things to manage the shadows well, because here you can see that we have no shadow for now. So what we will do, we will go into Eevee options there, and into maybe our sun over there. It will be maybe a little better. We will use the contact shadow as well. We are in render view here. Yeah, okay. It doesn't make a lot of effects. And here, cast that shadow map, we will not use that. Let's come back into the render options. So yeah, maybe there is not too much enough, there is too much light from the HDRI maybe to can project the shadow well, because yeah, if we go there into the easy HDRI, we remove some, we can see that the shadow will appear over there, okay, but yeah, it's not crazy. Yeah, maybe I will just tweak a little that one just to make a verification. Yeah, no, it doesn't change that much. So what we will do, we just keep it like that. We'll just use the soft shadows here, and we will enable the screen space reflections. It will give a better result for what we want. So it's not totally as accurate as in Cycles, as you can see, but you will have a very quick render, just very quick, just like that. F12, boom, you have it. That's it, it's finished. So so in that case, nothing to wait for. It will give you a nice result directly. So yeah, not as nice as the Cycles render, but yeah, it's already something. What you can do to into Eevee, and what is good into Eevee, is that you can make some nice here bloom into the lights, as you can see, and it will give even a better result like that. In Cycles, it's something that we cannot make directly into the viewport. We have to make it with compositing, and that's where we come to compositing, because it will be the topic of the next video. So we'll jump to Cycles again. This one was just to show you how to manage it with Eevee. Really, we can see here the light and the shadows. It's really more beautiful in my opinion here, more realistic. But yeah, let's jump into Cycles again, and into the next video we will make some compositing to add some nice lights, a nice vignette, maybe some light effects, and we will see that into the next video.